Okay, ready to dive into this mountain of info about managing customers in Oracle BRM?
Yeah, let's unpack it.
Looks like we're after a deep dive into how BRM, that's Oracle Communications Billing and Revenue Management, of course,
Right.
how BRM handles customer data, billing, payments, even the services themselves.
Yeah.
Our source material today,
Okay.
excerpts from a BRM guide,
Eh.
covers everything from account creation to
Right.
more complex topics like service life
Oh,
cycles
great.
and automated sharing groups.
Sounds like fun.
Goal is to extract the good stuff
Yep.
so we can really grasp how to leverage BRM without drowning in jargon.
Love it.
So, Guide kicks off breaking down all the info BRM gathers when a customer creates an account. More than just basic contact info.
Right. Oh, yeah. Much more.
Like what?
Think of it this way. BRM is designed to build a comprehensive picture of each customer right from the start.
Okay.
So that means capturing package selection, contact details, even preferred language, currency, and billing preferences.
The login credentials, too. Uh-huh.
Wow, a lot of info right out of the gate.
It is, but think of the benefits for you.
Okay.
This level of detail allows BRM to personalize the customer experience, streamline billing, even provide tailored recommendations later on.
Makes sense.
Plus, BRM ensures data accuracy right from the start.
How so?
Built-in validation rules for things like phone numbers and email addresses.
So typos and formatting issues are caught before they enter the system.
Exactly. Saves you from data cleanup headaches later.
Very nice, very nice.
And you can set system-wide defaults for things like currency, country, email domains.
So you can tailor BRM to your business right from day one.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got accurate, comprehensive customer data flowing into BRM.
Yep.
What about keeping customers informed? Any tools for that in BRM?
Absolutely. BRM has this handy newsfeed feature.
Newsfeed,
Yeah, it keeps customers in the loop about their account activities.
like a mini news stream within their account. Exactly. Payment confirmation, billing dispute, even just a status update. BRM can automatically send out these notifications through Newsfeed.
So it's like a personalized communication channel.
Precisely.
Keeps them informed without overwhelming them with info.
Exactly. And you can customize these notifications too. Match your brand's voice,
Oh, nice.
tweak the message content, the tone, the frequency.
Smart way to keep customers engaged.
And don't forget first impressions.
Yo, right.
BRM lets you customize welcome emails, subject line, sender address, the message itself.
You can set the tone for the whole customer relationship right from that first email.
Exactly.
Crucial. A well-crafted welcome email can make all the difference. Yes, it can. What if a customer isn't ready for those emails right away, though?
Oh.
Maybe their account setup isn't done or something.
Ah, BRM offers flexibility there too.
Like what?
You can disable those welcome emails if needed.
So you have full control over the timing.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered how BRM captures customer data and keeps them informed. What about the money side of things? How does BRM handle credit card management during sign-up?
Typically, BRM handles those initial charges for the first billing cycle and any purchase fees right at account creation.
Right.
Authorizes the payment through the credit card processor seamlessly.
Making the onboarding process smooth for the customer and you.
Exactly.
What about from an accounting perspective?
Worth noting that those initial charges are often categorized as unbilled revenue
Unbill.
until that first billing cycle actually rolls around.
Gotcha.
And of course, BRM takes care of credit card validation at account creation too.
Like checking the name, address, card number.
Exactly. Make sure everything aligns, minimizes risk of fraud.
Essential, especially these days.
Absolutely.
What if the credit card processor goes offline? Happens sometimes, right?
BRM can handle those scenarios too.
Ow.
You can actually turn off validation temporarily
Okay.
if the processor is down. Although that will limit your ability to process credit cards until the connection is restored.
A temporary workaround. Exactly. But what if you don't want to require a credit card right away?
You mean like for our free trial period?
Yeah, exactly.
BRM offers that option too.
Nice. So you can design those customer-friendly onboarding experiences.
Precisely.
I like it.
And to speed things up, when the payment tech processor is offline, BRM even lets you bypass certain timeouts during account creation.
Okay.
Clever way to keep the process moving, even when you're facing technical hiccups.
Shows how BRM adapts to real-world challenges.
It does.
Not just ideal scenarios, it's about solutions for when things go wrong.
Exactly.
Speaking of adapting, let's move on to password and login management.
Okay.
Essential for security and user experience.
Absolutely.
BRM offers flexibility there, right?
It does.
So customers can choose their passwords or the system can generate them automatically.
BRM supports both options.
Okay.
And if you choose system-generated passwords, you can even customize the algorithm,
Oh, cool.
ensuring they meet your complexity requirements.
Nice.
Plus, you can tweak the format for email login names.
How so?
By default, it requires lowercase letters and includes the domain, helps with consistency.
Prevents typos.
Exactly.
All those little annoyances that can
Yeah.
impact the customer experience.
Yeah, now here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
By default, BRM doesn't check for duplicate logins,
Really?
but you can enable it using what are called policy opcodes.
Policy upcodes.
Yeah, think of them as customizable rules
Okay.
that let you fine-tune BRM's behavior.
Interesting.
In this case, you'd use a policy opcode to activate that duplicate login detection.
Adding extra security.
Yeah.
So it's like a set of switches you can flip to activate different features.
You got it.
Okay, so BRM helps us secure those customer accounts.
Yep.
But what happens when things go wrong?
Like what?
Customer forgets their password or their account becomes inactive.
That's account and service status management.
Right.
BRM has built-in triggers that automatically deactivate accounts.
Under what conditions?
Like if a credit card payment fails,
Mhm.
or a credit card validation expires and there's an overdue item.
Makes sense.
And it's not just individual accounts.
Oh.
BRM handles child accounts too.
Child accounts.
Yeah, if a parent account gets deactivated, the associated child accounts are automatically deactivated as well.
Smart. Keeps everything synchronized.
Prevents any billing discrepancies.
Right. Prevents those cascading issues.
Exactly.
So BRM thinking ahead.
It is.
What about if an account is inactive for a long time?
BRM gives you control over account closure due to inactivity.
You can define a period of inactivity after which an account is automatically closed.
You got it. Keeps your database clean and up to date.
So if a customer hasn't used their account for, say, a year, BRM can just close it.
Exactly. Freeing up resources.
And ensuring your records are accurate.
Precisely. And you can tweak that inactivity period too.
Based on your business needs and customer retention policies?
Exactly.
What if you need to schedule changes in advance?
You could do that too. BRM lets you schedule account and service status changes.
So those changes happen automatically at a specific date and time?
Yep, there's a utility called Pin Defer Adapt that handles it.
Oh.
Gives you a lot of control over the time.
Like if you have a promotional offer that expires on a certain date,
Mhm.
you can schedule BRM to automatically deactivate those discounts.
Exactly. Ensures everyone's billed correctly. No one slips through the cracks.
Wow, that level of automation,
It's powerful.
like having a virtual assistant taking care of those tedious tasks.
It is.
What if you need to make changes retroactively?
Retroactively.
Like backdating a cancellation or status change?
That's where things get a bit tricky.
Okay.
BRM supports backdating for certain actions,
Hmm.
like status changes or canceling charge offers.
Hmm.
Useful for correcting errors.
So if I needed to backdate a cancellation to a specific date, BRM can handle that.
Within certain limits, yes.
Limits.
There are constraints
Okay.
to ensure data integrity. For example, you can't go beyond the general ledger posting date
Okay.
or the account's last status change date.
Safeguards to prevent accidental alterations.
Exactly.
And what about if you're backdating the cancellation of a discount?
Good point.
What happens then?
For certain discount types, you might need to rerun what's called a rating process
Rating process.
to make sure the billing is accurate.
So BRM needs to recalibrate after those retroactive changes.
Precisely. One of those behind-the-scenes processes.
This is all so helpful.
Glad to hear it.
Amazing how much BRM can do.
It is.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from account creation to managing backdated changes.
Yep.
What's next on our BRM adventure?
Let's dive into the world of custom service life cycles.
Ooh, custom service lifecycle sounds intriguing.
This is where BRM shines in terms of flexibility.
Okay.
You can tailor the system to your specific business needs.
So instead of just active and inactive, you can create unique states.
Exactly.
Can you give me some examples?
Absolutely. Imagine you're a telecommunications company.
Okay.
Instead of just active or inactive, you could have states like pending activation,
Okay.
suspended for fraud, even grace period.
Wow. much more nuanced and accurate
Right.
BRM adapting to the realities of your business.
Precisely.
I like it.
And with those custom transitions, you can define the specific actions that move a service from one state to another.
Like creating a custom workflow.
Exactly.
So you could define specific criteria that need to be met before a service can be activated or suspended.
Exactly. Maybe a credit check needs to be completed or a certain document needs to be received.
Automating those decision points.
And ensuring that your operations run smoothly and consistently.
This is powerful stuff.
It is.
A bit overwhelming, though. Sounds like there's a lot of complexity.
It's an advanced feature,
Okay.
but BRM provides tools.
To help manage this complexity.
Exactly. You can visualize your custom life cycles, see the states, the transitions, and even associate validation rules.
Validation rules.
Yeah, there are sets of rules that verify whether the data associated with a service meets certain criteria.
Before it can transition to that state.
Precisely.
So you could have a rule that verifies a customer's payment information before activating their service.
Exactly. Or a rule that checks their credit score before upgrading them.
Prevents errors.
Enforces your policies.
Ensures everything is running smoothly.
You got it.
Okay, I'm seeing the value here. It's about taking control, tailoring BRM.
To fit your specific business processes.
Exactly.
It's about moving beyond the limitations of a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
And creating a system that truly reflects how your business operates.
Okay, so BRM has a standard service lifecycle.
Right.
How do these custom life cycles interact with that?
Good question.
Do they conflict?
BRM lets you map each state in your custom lifecycle to a corresponding state in that standard lifecycle
It's like a bridge,
between your custom processes and the underlying framework of BRM.
keeping everything consistent.
Exactly.
So any reports or analytics will be accurate.
Regardless of whether a service is following the standard or custom lifecycle,
Okay, so how do you actually implement and manage these custom life cycles?
BRM provides a range of tools.
Okay.
You can use graphical configuration tools to visually define those states, transitions, and validation rules. Or, for more flexibility, BRM also offers APIs.
APIs.
Yeah, let you interact with the lifecycle engine programmatically.
So options for different skill sets.
Exactly. You could even write custom scripts to handle specific actions or triggers.
Wow, very flexible.
And for troubleshooting, BRM provides detailed logging and debugging tools.
Oh.
You can track state changes, see the associated actions, view validation results,
So if something goes wrong, you can retrace the steps
figure out what happened.
and fix it.
Exactly. BRM gives you the visibility.
And the tools to diagnose and resolve those issues.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into some real-world examples of custom service life cycles.
Sure.
Imagine you're a mobile network operator providing SIM card services. Instead of active and inactive, you could have states like SIM card ordered, SIM card shipped, SIM card activated, SIM card suspended.
Exactly. You're tracking the whole journey of that SIM card.
From ordering to active use.
Yep, BRM managing both the physical asset and the associated service.
And you can define actions for each transition.
Like receiving confirmation from the shipping partner.
Or verifying the customer's identity before activation.
Exactly.
So much control.
There is.
Okay, what other examples can you share?
Let's say you're a cloud service provider with different tiers.
Like a free tier, basic tier, premium tier,
Right, you could create custom life cycles for each tier.
with states like trial period, free tier, paid tier, even suspended tier.
Exactly.
And you could use validation rules to automatically upgrade or downgrade customers based on their usage or payment status.
You got, like, if they exceed their free tier limits.
They're automatically moved to the paid tier.
Precisely. It's about creating a dynamic and personalized service experience.
This is amazing.
It is.
I'm seeing how powerful these custom life cycles can be.
They are.
It's about automating those crucial decision points.
Ensuring your customers are always getting the right level of service and support. And creating those seamless experiences that delight customers and drive business growth.
Well said. Okay, we've explored custom life cycles for SIM cards, cloud service tiers.
Right.
What else is there to discover in this BRM deep dive?
Let's talk about how BRM handles different currencies.
Okay, the world of international finance, bring it on.
So BRM has a system currency set during installation.
Okay,
It's crucial for consistent financial calculations,
gotcha.
but it also allows for individual account currencies.
Meaning transactions can be processed in different currencies.
Exactly.
Makes sense for global businesses.
It does.
Customers paying in euros, yen, pounds.
Right. Eliminates manual conversions, keeps records accurate.
Very nice.
When setting up BRM, you can define a default account currency.
Used if no specific currency is provided during account creation.
Precisely. And if you need to support a new currency, BRM makes it easy.
Oh.
Just add the corresponding balance elements.
Balance elements.
Think of them as the building blocks for tracking transactions in different currencies.
Okay.
Each currency has its own set.
Like a separate ledger.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now, BRM lets you use multiple currencies in your product offerings, too.
So you could have a product priced in dollars, but purchased by a customer paying in euros.
Exactly. And BRM has two options for handling that.
Two options.
You can either convert the price to the customer's account currency at the time of purchase,
Right.
or create separate charge offers for each currency.
So you're giving customers flexibility without complicating your billing system.
Precisely.
Very cool.
And to add another layer, BRM has built-in support for the euro and EMU currencies.
EMU currencies, remind me what those are again?
Sure, the national currencies of those European countries that have adopted the euro.
Okay, like France, Germany, Italy.
Exactly.
So a dual currency system.
Precisely. BRM handles it seamlessly.
So customers can choose to be billed in either currency.
Yeah, euro or their national EMU currency.
Okay, and what about secondary currencies?
If the primary currency is an EMU currency, the euro is automatically the secondary.
Gotcha.
But if the primary currency is the euro,
Okay.
you can choose an EMU currency as secondary or none at all.
So BRM is adapting to each country's currency preferences and regulations.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Now, with conversions between euro and EMU currencies, you might get rounding errors.
Oh, those pesky rounding errors.
Right. BRM lets you define error tolerance values.
So BRM doesn't flag those tiny discrepancies as errors.
Exactly. It's like saying, hey, don't worry about those tiny differences.
Smart way to prevent false alarms.
It is.
So BRM anticipates those little quirks that can arise with multiple currencies.
Exactly. It's all about creating a robust system that can handle the complexities of international finance.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Shift gears.
Let's talk about how BRM communicates with customers outside of the core system.
Okay.
You mean like sending emails and stuff?
Well, BRM actually allows you to send notifications through external applications.
External applications.
Yeah, extending the reach of BRM.
So you could integrate with a dedicated notification system.
You could, or a third-party messaging platform.
So it's not just about account updates and billing reminders.
No, you can configure it for product purchases, balance changes, payment reminders, even those service lifecycle state changes.
Keeping customers informed across different touch points.
Exactly.
VRM as the central hub.
Precisely.
But can you control when those notifications are delivered?
Absolutely. Timing is crucial.
Right.
BRM lets you define specific delivery times.
Like what?
Preferred times, scheduled times, even silent periods.
Silent periods.
Yeah, times when no notifications should be sent.
So like you wouldn't want to send important notifications in the middle of night?
Exactly, especially for customers in different time zones.
Right. Respect your customer's time.
Exactly. BRM helps you build a more thoughtful communication strategy.
I like it.
BRM also lets you define notification specifications.
Okay.
They determine which accounts get specific notifications.
So you can segment your audience?
Make sure the right messages reach the right people.
Like targeting only customers who opted in for SMS messages.
Precisely. A personalized communication experience.
Very nice.
And to make things even more granular.
Granular.
You have control over what events trigger those notifications.
Presents like what?
Balance changes exceeding a certain threshold, payment reminders for overdue invoices, even transitions to specific states within those service life cycles.
So BRM gives you the power to orchestrate those customer interactions.
It does.
Make sure everyone is informed at the right time.
In the right way.
That level of control is pretty impressive.
It is.
Okay, so moving on from communication,
Moving on.
let's talk about contracts.
Contracts.
How does BRM handle those?
BRM provides a whole toolkit for managing those agreements between you and your customers.
So BRM is covering the whole life cycle of a contract.
Exactly, from creation to termination.
What kind of tools are we talking about?
Well, you can create contracts, handle early cancellations,
Okay.
manage auto renewals, even define what happens when a contract expires.
So BRM's like a virtual contract administrator.
Exactly.
How do you access these contract management functionalities?
A few ways. You can use the BRM user interface called Billing Care,
Billing Care.
or develop custom applications using what are called Contract FM opcodes.
Contract FM opcodes, what are those?
Think of them as specialized functions for working with contracts.
Go.
They let you do things like creating, updating, canceling contracts.
Gotcha.
Plus, you can use the Billing Care REST API,
REST API, what's that for?
integrating with external systems or building custom workflows.
So lots of flexibility there.
There is.
What are some of the key benefits of DRM's contract management?
One of the key benefits is the ability to handle early cancellations smoothly.
Okay.
When a contract is canceled early, BRM automatically cancels any associated bundles, offers, and services.
Keeping everything synchronized.
So the customer isn't billed for services they're no longer receiving.
Right.
And if there are any early termination fees in the contract, BRM automatically calculates and applies those.
So you're compensated fairly.
Exactly.
Takes the manual work out of managing cancellations.
That does.
Okay, now let's talk about managing those purchased offers within BRM.
Okay.
Starting with charge offers.
Charge offers.
Right, the products and services customers are actually paying for.
Exactly.
How does BRM handle those?
BRM gives you a lot of flexibility.
Like what?
You can cancel a charge offer immediately, backdate a cancellation,
Okay.
or schedule it for the future.
Just like with those other cancellation options we talked about.
Precisely. And if the charge offer has a cycle forward fee,
Cycle forward fee.
a fee that covers a future period of service, BRM handles proration when you cancel,
Proration.
dividing the fee proportionally based on how much of the service period has been used.
So if a customer cancels halfway through the billing cycle, they only pay for half of that cycle forward fee.
Exactly.
Makes sense. They're only paying for what they used.
Now, BRM uses the pricing at the time of purchase to calculate those prorated amounts.
Not the current pricing.
Nope. Ensures consistency, especially if prices have changed since the initial purchase.
Smart. Prevents disputes.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered charge offers. What about discount offers?
Discount offers are a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
Canceling them can sometimes lead to proration and additional charges.
Wait, canceling a discount can lead to charges.
It can.
How?
Imagine a customer has a discount on a cycle forward fee.
Okay.
If you cancel that discount, they'll be responsible for the full amount of that fee.
Even if they already paid a discounted amount.
Exactly. It's like removing the discount retroactively.
So there's a balance adjustment.
Right. And BRM calculates the prorated amount based on how much of the cycle forward period is left.
Just like with the charge offers.
Yep.
Okay. Starting to see how canceling a discount can lead to charges. What about if you only want to cancel part of the discount?
When canceling a discount offer, BRM lets you specify the quantity.
So you can cancel the whole thing or just reduce the amount?
Precisely. Gives you more flexibility.
Nice. Fine-tuning those discounts.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to bundles now.
Bundles.
Right, packages of products and services.
Yeah.
How does BRM handle those?
BRM has some cool features for managing bundles.
Like what?
One is called bundle transitions.
Bundle transitions.
Yeah, defining rules for which bundles can be purchased after another.
So like you can control which bundles are eligible based on what the customer already has.
Exactly. Creating a roadmap for how customers can upgrade or change their packages.
Makes sense.
To define these transitions, BRM uses rules defined in PDC or Pricing Center.
PDC and Pricing Center.
PDC is Product Development Center.
Okay.
Both are tools for managing products and pricing in BRM.
Like the control panels for your product catalog.
Exactly. BRM uses the rules from those tools to manage the transitions.
Prevents customers from buying incompatible bundles.
Precisely.
Keeps things simple.
It does.
BRM's like a guide, helping customers navigate your offerings.
In a way, it is.
Okay, what else can you do with bundles?
You can configure bundle dependencies.
Bundle dependencies.
Think of them as prerequisites.
Okay.
Rules that say which bundles must be purchased before others.
So a customer might need to have a base bundle before buying an add-on?
Exactly. It's all about creating logical pathways.
I like it.
Now, here's an important detail.
Okay.
Once a bundle is canceled in BRM, you can't reactivate it or the offers it contains.
So once it's gone, it's gone.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Prevents weird scenarios with the reactivating old bundles.
Right.
Okay, so BRM is really good at handling bundles.
Yep.
All their complexities.
Uh-huh.
What about customer deposits? How does BRM manage those?
Another area where BRM shines.
Okay, tell me more.
It has a whole system for collecting and managing customer deposits. Features for defining deposit specifications, calculating interest, even handling transfer options.
Wait, calculating interest? BRM can do that automatically.
Yep. Really handy feature.
I had no idea.
And you control how it works. Different methods like simple interest, compound interest, even a fixed amount.
So many options.
Plus, you can set how often the interest is calculated, daily, monthly, annually.
Takes the hassle out of managing deposits.
I'm sure.
What about those transfer options? When would you need to transfer a deposit?
Imagine a customer cancels a service but still has a deposit.
Okay.
You can transfer that deposit to another service.
Like if they upgrade.
Exactly. Or even to a different account entirely.
So you could transfer a deposit from internet service to their phone service.
You could.
Or even to a different customer.
If needed, yes.
Wow, so flexible.
Keeps things moving smoothly.
Okay, so BRM handles all these different financial scenarios.
It does.
What about situations with multiple related accounts?
Multiple related accounts.
Like family plans or businesses with multiple departments.
That's where account hierarchies come in.
Account hierarchies.
You group accounts together in parent-child relationships.
Okay.
Useful for things like consolidated billing,
Makes sense.
managing groups of related accounts, even applying discounts or sharing charges.
So you could have a parent account for a company with child accounts for each department.
Exactly. Or a family account with individual accounts for each member.
Like a family tree for your customer accounts.
Exactly, but hopefully with less drama.
Right, hopefully.
What about closed accounts?
Closed account.
Can they be in the hierarchy?
Good question.
By default, BRM doesn't let you move closed accounts in or out of hierarchies.
So they're excluded once they're closed.
It's a safety mechanism.
Prevents accidental changes.
Right, but if you need that flexibility, you can enable it.
Through configuration.
Exactly. BRM lets you customize those settings.
So BRM balances security and flexibility.
It does.
Protects closed accounts, but gives you options.
Precisely.
Okay, so on the topic of sharing, let's talk about charge and discount sharing.
Yes, powerful feature.
How does that work?
BRM uses something called sharing groups.
Sharing groups.
They allow you to share charges or discounts between accounts in a hierarchy.
Okay.
One account, like a parent company, can assume the charges for its child accounts.
Simplifying billing for everyone.
Exactly. Or an account can share discounts with its members.
Creating a loyalty program.
Or an incentive structure.
I see. So if a family has a shared data plan, the parent account could pay for the data charges.
Right.
And then those charges are allocated to the individual accounts.
Based on usage, exactly.
So much control over costs and benefits.
There is.
It's like BRM helps you build a more collaborative billing system.
In a way, it does.
Okay, what about those global charge sharing groups?
Those are even more interesting.
What makes them different?
With global sharing groups, you can cast a wider net.
Okay.
Instead of listing individual members, you define rules that apply to all accounts or services of a specific type.
So you could have a global sharing group that applies a discount to all customers with a certain plan.
You could.
Or maybe a group that allocates charges for a service to all accounts in a specific department.
Exactly. It simplifies things, automates those sharing mechanisms.
Less manual effort, more consistency.
Precisely.
Okay, so with all this sharing going on, how does BRM ensure the balances are accurate?
That's where balance monitoring comes in.
Oh, let's monitor.
BRM has tools for tracking balances, setting up alerts, even triggering actions.
Based on those balances.
Exactly, like a financial watchdog.
Okay, I like it.
You can monitor individual account balances, group balances, even balances for specific services, set thresholds that trigger notifications.
Like an early warning system.
Exactly. Helps you manage spending, prevent debt, even spot potential fraud.
Wow, that's powerful.
And BRM doesn't just monitor.
Okay.
You can define actions that are triggered when those thresholds are crossed.
Like what kind of actions?
You could send an email notification.
To the account owner.
Right. Automatically suspend the service.
Okay.
Or generate a report for investigation.
So it's not just observing, it's taking action.
Exactly. Automating those workflows.
So much less manual effort.
For sure.
And to give you even more control, BRM supports different monitor types.
Based on payment responsibility and credit enforcement.
So you tailor those monitoring rules to your policies.
To your risk tolerance.
It's like BRM's evolving into a financial management platform.
It is quite sophisticated.
Okay, with all this talk about finances and transactions, we can't forget data security.
Absolutely. Crucial aspect.
How does BRM protect customer data?
BRM offers a variety of security measures.
Okay.
Data masking, role-based access control, even encryption options.
Let's start with data masking.
Data masking, okay?
What is that?
It lets you hide sensitive data.
Hide it.
In logs, reports, even the user interface.
So like credit card numbers, social security numbers, passwords.
Exactly. BRM gives you different masking techniques.
Like what?
You can replace sensitive characters with asterisks or X's,
Okay.
or use more sophisticated methods like tokenization or encryption.
Tokenization, encryption, what are those?
Tokenization replaces the sensitive data with a non-sensitive equivalent,
A token.
like a placeholder.
So even if someone gets the token, they can't see the real data.
Exactly. Protects the information while maintaining functionality.
Smart.
And encryption transforms the data into an unreadable format.
So it's scrambled,
You could say that. Only those with the key can decipher it.
adding an extra layer of protection.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm liking these data masking and encryption options.
Good.
What about controlling who can access the data in the first place?
That's where role-based access control comes in, or
Yeah.
RBAC. You define different roles with specific permissions
Okay.
and assign users to those roles.
Based on their responsibilities.
Exactly. So customer service reps might have access to basic account info.
But not financial data.
Right. While billing administrators would have full access to billing and payment info.
So it's all about controlling access to specific types of data.
Precisely. Ensures users only see what they need to do their jobs.
Fundamental principle of data security.
Absolutely.
Oh wait, so BRM takes data security seriously.
It does.
It's not just about masking or encrypting.
Nope.
It's about controlling access, defining roles.
Following best practices.
Now, I'm curious about validating data accuracy.
Data accuracy.
We've talked about protecting data,
Right.
but how does BRM make sure the data itself is correct?
Another crucial aspect, data validation.
Okay, why is that so important?
Accurate data is essential for everything, from billing and customer service to reporting and analytics.
Right. If the data's wrong, it can cause all sorts of problems.
It can. Incorrect invoices, bad business decisions, you name it.
So how does BRM prevent those data validation issues?
It provides a range of utilities and features specifically for validating data.
Like what?
BRM can check for things like duplicate records, missing info, invalid data entries.
It's like a data detective.
You could say that.
And those checks can be simple or complex.
Exactly. From verifying email addresses
Okay.
to validating phone numbers, ensuring dates are formatted correctly, even checking data consistency across different parts of the system.
So if a customer's address is stored in multiple places, BRM makes sure it's the same everywhere.
Precisely. No more inconsistencies.
One single source of truth.
That's the goal.
No more manual data cleanup, no more embarrassing errors.
Right. It's a big help.
And can you customize those validation rules?
You can. BRM gives you that flexibility.
So you can tailor the validation to your specific needs.
Exactly. Define rules based on your criteria, data formats, even external data sources.
Okay, so how about some real-world examples?
Sure, imagine a rule that requires phone numbers to include the country code. BRM can automatically check every new number.
And flag any that don't match.
Exactly.
Or a rule that verifies email addresses against an external service.
To make sure they're valid and deliverable.
That's great. It's like BRM is a gatekeeper, keeping bad data out.
Precisely.
Okay, so what tools does BRM have for data validation?
One of the most powerful is ADU, the account dump utility.
ADU, we've heard that before.
Versatile tool, lots of uses.
Including data validation.
Exactly.
So you can use ADU to extract data, analyze it, and validate it.
Yeah.
So I could use it to find all the accounts with missing phone numbers or invalid email addresses.
You could.
And ADU can even fix some errors automatically.
For certain types of errors, like formatting issues or missing values.
Wow, so it cleans up the data for you.
In a way, it does.
And are there other tools besides ADU?
Yes. BRM has other utilities and APIs.
For data validation?
You can integrate them into your workflows,
Okay.
schedule automated tasks, even write your own scripts for specialized checks.
So many options.
It depends on your needs and technical skills.
Okay, so we've covered validating data within BRM.
Right.
What about validating data across multiple systems?
That's a great question. Increasingly important these days.
Businesses rely on so many different systems,
They do, and BRM is designed to integrate with others.
including cross-system data validation.
Exactly.
So BRM can talk to other systems, like a CRM, and check if the data is consistent.
You can use APIs or other methods to share data between systems.
Make sure your customer info is accurate everywhere,
Prevents those data silos.
where different systems have conflicting info.
Right, it's all about having that single source of truth
Essential for good decision-making.
and consistent customer experiences.
Okay, we've covered data masking, role-based access control. data validation.
Lots of ground covered.
BRM has a comprehensive set of tools
It does.
for protecting, managing, and validating data,
It's all about building a solid data foundation for your business
giving you the confidence to make those strategic decisions.
and deliver exceptional customer experiences.
Okay, what else can we explore about BRM's data-centric features?
Let's talk about backdating.
Backdating.
It's a powerful feature.
But I've heard it can be risky.
It can be if not used properly.
So how does BRM handle backdating safely?
Oh, backdating is essentially applying changes to a past date,
Okay.
like retroactively modifying data or transactions.
So you could change a customer's billing rate for a previous month?
You could, or adjust their balance as if it happened a while ago.
Or cancel a service as if it never existed.
All possible scenarios.
Sounds dangerous?
It can be, but it can also be very useful.
For what?
Correcting errors, making adjustments, handling unique billing situations.
Okay, I'm seeing how it could be useful.
But you're right, there are potential problems.
Like what?
You could accidentally create data inconsistencies,
Okay.
or someone could misuse it to manipulate records.
So it's not something to use lightly.
Exactly, only when absolutely necessary.
And when you have a clear understanding of the consequences?
Right, so when would backdating be appropriate?
Yeah, give me an example.
Imagine you find a billing error that affected a customer for several months.
Okay.
Instead of manually fixing each month's bill, you could use backdating to correct the error at its source.
So BRM recalculates those old bills.
Automatically ensures accurate billing.
That's much more efficient than doing it manually.
Oh, yeah.
Any other scenarios?
Let's say you have a promotion that ended,
Okay.
but a customer signs up late.
Hmm.
You could backdate their sign up to apply the discount.
Keep the customer happy.
Exactly.
So backdating is for maintaining fairness and accuracy.
When a retroactive adjustment is needed, yes.
Okay, but what about those potential pitfalls?
Right, you need to be careful.
Like what?
One risk is creating inconsistencies in your data.
How so?
If you backdate a change without considering its impact,
Okay.
you could end up with conflicting information, bad calculations, even corrupted data.
It's like a domino effect,
One change ripples through the system.
causing unexpected problems.
Exactly. That's why testing is crucial.
Before making any backdated changes.
You need to make sure it doesn't break anything.
And what about knowing who made the change and why?
Accountability, very important.
How do you handle that?
Documentation and auditing are crucial.
Okay.
You need to record every backdated change.
Who authorized it, when it was made, the reason for it.
Exactly, like a digital trail.
So you can track those changes and make sure everything is legitimate,
Transparency and accountability are key.
especially with a powerful feature like backdating.
Builds trust.
Ensures responsible use.
Exactly.
So, besides being careful about inconsistencies,
Ah.
testing thoroughly, documenting everything,
Yep.
are there other safeguards in BRM?
Yes, BRM has built-in limitations on backdating
Limitations.
to prevent those big errors.
Tell me more.
For example, you can't backdate beyond a certain point in the past.
Okay.
There's a time limit
Prevents you from going too far back.
and potentially messing things up.
Like a time machine with a safety feature.
Exactly. Protects the integrity of the data.
So you don't accidentally change old records.
Right. And BRM also prevents backdating actions that would violate business rules.
Or system constraints.
So even if you try to make a change that would break the system,
BRM stops you.
it's like a guardrail, keeping you on the right path.
Okay, I'm feeling better at backdating now.
They're good.
Knowing BRM has those safeguards.
It's about using powerful features responsibly.
So if we decide backdating is the right approach,
Yes.
how do we actually do it in BRM?
Different methods are available.
Okay.
For simple changes, you might use the BRM user interface
Like billing care?
or customer center.
Those are more user-friendly.
Exactly. But for more complex scenarios,
Okay.
you might need to use command line utilities.
Or write custom scripts.
BRM gives you options.
From simple interfaces to powerful scripting.
Choose the approach that works best for you.
Okay, we've explored backdating pretty thoroughly.
I think so.
Benefits, risks, safeguards, how to do it.
It's a powerful feature.
What's next on our BRM journey?
Let's dive into custom service life cycles.
Custom service lifecycle.
This is where BRM's flexibility really shines.
Now, remind me again why we need custom life cycles.
Doesn't BRM already have a standard one?
Exactly. So why bother with custom ones?
You're right. BRM does have a standard service life cycle.
Okay.
Covers the basic states like active and inactive.
Right.
But as businesses grow,
Okay.
they often need more control, more granularity.
To define states and transitions that are specific to their business.
Exactly. That's where custom life cycles come in.
So you're not limited to those predefined states.
Right. You create your own.
That reflect the specific stages of a service.
Exactly. So instead of just active or inactive,
Right.
you might have states like pending activation,
Okay.
suspended for fraud, grace period.
Much more detailed and accurate.
Reflects the real world better.
And with those custom transitions,
Yes.
you define the actions that move a service between states
Like creating automated workflows?
based on your business rules.
Exactly.
So you could have criteria that must be met,
Before a service can transition
like a credit check.
or receiving a specific document
It's all about automation.
and removing those manual bottlenecks.
Okay, sounds powerful but complex.
It's an advanced feature.
right.
But BRM provides tools to help.
Like what?
You can use graphical configuration tools
Okay.
to visually define those states, transitions, validation rules.
Yeah, I'm drawing a flow chart.
Exactly.
Easy to understand and modify.
And how do you define the actions that trigger those transitions?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
You can associate actions or triggers with each transition,
Okay.
from simple notifications to complex operations,
Like updating customer records.
or interacting with other systems
So a transition could send a welcome email
when a service is activated,
or trigger a provisioning request.
when a customer
It's
upgrades
all automated.
behind the scenes.
This is really cool.
It is.
Gives you so much control.
You can create those highly customized servant experiences.
And what about those validation rules we talked about?
Yes. You can use those within custom life cycles too.
To ensure data accuracy
Exactly. They act as checkpoints.
before a service can transition.
Right. So you could have a rule that checks payment info,
Before activating a service.
or a rule that checks their credit score before an upgrade,
Prevents errors.
enforces your policies.
And to ensure everything runs smoothly.
Precisely.
So custom service life cycles are all about taking control.
Moving beyond the one-size-fits-all approach.
Building automated workflows.
Enforcing your rules.
Keeping your data accurate.
Exactly.
It's amazing how flexible BRM is.
It is designed to adapt.
Okay, it's a lot to take in,
It is.
but the benefits seem worth it.
They are.
Okay, so how about some real-world examples?
Sure.
How are businesses using these custom life cycles?
Imagine you're a mobile network operator
Okay,
providing SIM card services.
got it.
You could create a custom life cycle to track the journey of that SIM card.
From start to finish.
Exactly. States like SIM card ordered, SIM card shipped, SIM card activated, SIM card suspended.
You're managing both the physical SIM card and the service itself.
Precisely.
And you can define actions for those transitions.
Like when you get shipping confirmation.
Or when the customer verifies their identity.
Exactly. It mirrors your real-world processes.
So much control.
There's...
What other examples are there?
Let's say you're a cloud service provider with different tiers.
Free tier, basic tier, premium tier.
You could create custom life cycles for each tier.
With states like trial period, free tier, paid tier, suspended tier.
Exactly. Reflecting the customer's journey
And those transitions could be automated,
based on certain criteria.
like usage limits or payment status.
Right. Or triggered manually by a customer service rep.
It's like you're orchestrating the whole customer experience.
You are. From sign-up to long-term relationships.
This is incredibly powerful.
It is. BRM gives you the tools to create those personalized experiences. It's all about automating those key processes, enforcing your business rules, and ensuring that your customers are always getting the right level of service and support throughout their journey with your company.
This has been an incredible journey through the world of custom service life cycles. I'm starting to see how powerful they can be for automating processes, creating personalized experiences, and really tailoring BRM to fit any business model or scenario. It's no longer just about managing the state of a service. It's about orchestrating the entire customer journey and creating those seamless and delightful experiences that foster loyalty and drive business growth.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important aspect of VRM's flexibility. The ability to integrate with external applications to manage certain functionalities.
Integrating with external applications. Okay, I'm curious, what kind of functionalities are we talking about, and why would you even want to manage them outside of BRM? Doesn't BRM have everything you need built in?
BRM is incredibly comprehensive, but it's also designed to be an open system, recognizing that businesses often have specialized tools or existing systems that they want to leverage. It allows you to seamlessly integrate with those other applications and even delegate certain tasks to those external systems, creating a more cohesive and streamlined IT ecosystem.
So you could use a third-party CRM system to manage customer interactions, a separate provisioning platform to handle the technical aspects of service delivery, or even a dedicated billing platform to handle invoicing and payment processing.
Those are all great examples. It's all about choosing the best tool for the job and creating a seamless flow of data and processes across those different systems. And by integrating with those external applications, you can extend the capabilities of BRM, tap into specialized functionalities, and even leverage those existing investments in your IT infrastructure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm assuming that BRM doesn't just blindly hand over control to those external applications, right? There must be some mechanisms for managing those interactions, ensuring data security, and maintaining consistency across those different systems.
You're absolutely right. Security and consistency are paramount when you're dealing with integrations. BRM provides a range of integration options, from simple data exchange to those more sophisticated real-time interactions, allowing you to choose the level of integration that best suits your needs and your security requirements.
So you can control how much data is shared, when it's shared, and even what format it's shared in.
Exactly. And to facilitate those interactions, you can use APIs or messaging systems, creating those secure and reliable connections between BRM and those external applications.
APIs and messaging systems. Can you explain those a bit further?
APIs, or application programming interfaces, are essentially sets of rules and specifications that allow different applications to talk to each other and exchange data in a structured and secure way. It's like having a common language that those applications can understand.
So BRM can expose its APIs, allowing those external applications to send requests and receive data from BRM.
Exactly. And those APIs can be used for a wide range of tasks, from retrieving customer information to triggering billing events to even managing those custom service lifecycles that we talked about earlier.
That's incredibly powerful. It opens up a whole world of possibilities for integrating BRM into your broader IT ecosystem.
And messaging systems are another way to facilitate those interactions. They allow applications to send messages to each other asynchronously, meaning they don't have to be directly connected or online at the same time. It's like leaving a message on someone's voicemail. They can retrieve it and respond to it later when it's convenient for them.
So BRM could send a message to an external provisioning system to activate a new service, and that provisioning system could process that request later when it's ready without disrupting the flow of operations within BRM.
Exactly. It's a great way to create those loosely coupled integrations that are reliable, scalable, and don't create dependencies between those different systems.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense. BRM is like the conductor of an orchestra, coordinating those different systems and ensuring that everything is working in harmony. But can you give me some specific examples of how these integrations are actually being used in the real world? How are businesses leveraging those external applications to enhance their BRM implementations?
Imagine you're a company that uses a separate provisioning system to manage the technical aspects of delivering your services. Instead of manually managing those provisioning tasks within BRM, you could integrate BRM with that provisioning system, allowing BRM to trigger those provisioning actions based on events that happen within the billing system.
So when a customer signs up for a new service in BRM, it could automatically send a request to the provisioning system to provision that service, activate the necessary network connections, and configure the customer's account on those back-end systems.
Exactly. It eliminates manual intervention, reduces errors, and speeds up that service delivery process. And because those systems are talking to each other in real time, you can keep those customer records synchronized and ensure that everything is consistent across those different platforms.
That's a great example. It shows how integrating BRM with a provisioning system can streamline those operations and create a more seamless experience for both the customer and the business. What other examples can you share?
Let's say you have a loyalty program that's managed by an external application. Instead of manually managing those loyalty points and rewards, you could integrate BRM with that loyalty system, allowing BRM to automatically update a customer's loyalty status based on their activity within the billing system.
So every time a customer makes a purchase, pays their bill on time, or reaches a certain spending threshold, BRM could send that information to the loyalty system, which could then award points, redeem rewards, or even upgrade the customer's loyalty tier.
Exactly. It's all about creating a more rewarding and engaging customer experience by connecting those different systems and creating those automated workflows that recognize and reward those loyal customers.
Okay, those are some fantastic examples. I'm starting to see how integrating BRM with those external applications can really enhance its functionalities, streamline your processes, and create a more cohesive and rewarding customer experience.
It's all about building that best-of-breed ecosystem that leverages the strengths of those different systems, creating a powerful platform for managing the entire customer lifecycle.
This has been an incredible journey through the world of BRM. We've covered everything from those fundamental concepts of account management and billing to those more advanced features like custom service lifecycles and integrations with external applications. It's clear that BRM is far more than just a billing system. It's a comprehensive platform for managing the entire customer journey and creating those personalized and delightful experiences that drive loyalty and revenue.
You've captured it perfectly. BRM is a powerful and versatile system that can transform how businesses interact with their customers, empowering them to build those stronger relationships, streamline those operations, and ultimately achieve those business goals.
I'm feeling incredibly informed and inspired by BRM's capabilities. But before we wrap up, I have one final question for you. We've explored the many strengths and advantages of BRM, but what about its limitations? Are there any scenarios where BRM might not be the best fit, or any potential challenges that businesses should be aware of?
That's a great question, and it's important to have a realistic view of any system before making those technology decisions. While BRM is incredibly powerful and flexible, there are a few things to consider. First, BRM can be a complex system to implement and manage. It requires specialized expertise, and that initial setup process can be time-consuming and resource-intensive. It's not a plug-and-play solution. It requires careful planning, configuration, and testing to ensure that it's tailored to your specific needs and integrated seamlessly with your existing systems.
So businesses need to be prepared to invest the necessary time, resources, and expertise to implement BRM effectively.
Exactly. And because of its complexity, BRM can also be resource-intensive from a hardware and software perspective. It might require significant investments in servers, databases, and other infrastructure components, especially for those large-scale deployments with high transaction volumes. Smaller businesses with limited budgets might find those upfront costs prohibitive, and they might need to carefully evaluate those total cost of ownership implications before committing to BRM.
So it's not just about the software licensing costs, it's about the entire ecosystem of hardware, software, and support that's needed to run BRM effectively.
Exactly. And while BRM is highly customizable, there are still some limitations to what you can achieve with its out-of-the-box features. There might be certain scenarios or business processes that require workarounds, custom development, or even integrations with third-party applications to fill those gaps. Businesses need to carefully assess their requirements and ensure that BRM can accommodate those unique needs, either through its standard features or through those customization options.
So flexibility is a key strength of BRM, but there are still some boundaries to that flexibility, and businesses need to be aware of those boundaries before making a decision.
Exactly. And finally, while BRM has a large and active community of users and developers, finding those specialized BRM expertise can still be a challenge. It's a niche skill set, and the demand for those BRM professionals often exceeds the supply. Businesses need to factor in those potential staffing challenges when considering BRM, ensuring that they have access to those skilled resources who can implement, customize, and support the system effectively.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people and the expertise that are needed to make that technology work for your business.
Precisely. BRM is a powerful tool, but it's only as effective as the people who are using it and managing it.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of BRM. We've explored its capabilities, its flexibility, and even its limitations. It's a remarkable system that can transform how businesses interact with their customers, empowering them to create more personalized experiences, streamline those operations, and ultimately achieve those business goals.
I couldn't agree more. And as we've seen throughout this deep dive, it's a system that's constantly evolving, adapting to the ever-changing needs of the market, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in customer management.
Well said. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope this deep dive is giving you a solid understanding of BRM, its power, its flexibility, and its potential to revolutionize your customer management processes. Remember, knowledge is power, and with the insights you've gained today, you're well equipped to explore BRM further, evaluate its suitability for your business, and embark on your own BRM adventure. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of customer management.